Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something today. When was the last time you really looked at yourself? I don't mean that glance in the mirror where you check your hair or smile for a second. No, I'm talking about the deep, quiet moments when it's just you staring back at you. The moments when your truth starts to rise to the surface. This is what I want to talk to you about today, you against you, because let's be real. The biggest battles we fight in life are not with other people. No, they are fought with the person staring back at us in that mirror. Sometimes we sabotage our own greatness without even realizing it. We say things like, I'm not ready for that, I don't deserve it, or worse, what if I fail? But here's the thing, you are not fighting anyone else's judgment or expectations, only your own. The greatest limitations you will ever face are the ones you place on yourself. But right here, right now, I'm telling you, you have the power to rewrite that narrative. You have the power to stand tall and say, I am worthy, I am capable. What's holding you back? Is it fear? Self-doubt? That voice in your head telling you you're not good enough? I'm here to tell you that voice has no power over you unless you let it. So how do we turn that around? It starts with believing in yourself, not waiting for the world to believe in you, but knowing deep down that you are enough. That you have what it takes to move past your doubts and become the best version of yourself. We all have moments where we fall short. We all experience fear. But those moments don't define us. What defines us is what we do next. Do you get back up? Do you push past your own limits? Because make no mistake, there's a victory waiting for you on the other side of your fear. But you have to choose it. And let's be clear, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about waking up every single day and saying, today I will be better than I was yesterday, not for anyone else, but for you. You are the architect of your life. No one else is going to fight your battles for you. It's you against you. And guess what? You are stronger than you think. Your story isn't over. There are chapters left to write, victories yet to be won. The only person who can decide how it ends is you. So today, I challenge you. Step into your power. Fight for yourself, not against yourself. Because when you truly believe in who you are, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. When was the last time you really took a moment to understand what's happening inside of you? Not the surface stuff, your daily routines, your responsibilities, but the deep internal battles that you might not even be acknowledging. Because let's be honest, we all have those moments, those feelings we push aside because it's easier to ignore them than confront them. But here's the truth, those internal struggles, they don't just disappear. They linger. They shape our thoughts, our decisions, and ultimately our lives. We carry around self-doubt, fear, and insecurities, and they weigh us down. Sometimes, without even realizing it, we start believing that voice in our head that says, you're not good enough, or this isn't for you. And before we know it, we've created a barrier between where we are and where we want to be. Recognizing your inner struggles is the first step to breaking free from them. It's about getting real with yourself. Acknowledging the fact that you might be holding yourself back not because you can't, but because on some level you believe you shouldn't. Maybe it's because of past failures, or maybe it's because someone once told you that you weren't capable. But those moments, those words, they don't define you. What defines you is how you choose to face them. We all have struggles, every single one of us. The key is understanding that these struggles are not the end of your story, they're part of your journey. They are there to teach you, to strengthen you, to push you beyond the boundaries you've set for yourself. But first, you have to recognize that they exist. It's easy to look outward, to blame circumstances or other people for where we are. But the real work, the real transformation begins when we look inward. When we stop running from our own reflections and start facing ourselves head on. That's when change happens. That's when growth begins. So ask yourself, what are the internal struggles you've been avoiding? Is it fear of failure? Is it a belief that you're not worthy of success or happiness? Whatever it is, it's time to confront it, because the longer you let it go unchallenged, the stronger it becomes. And yes, you are stronger than your struggles, but you have to first recognize them, give them a name, and then make a conscious choice to overcome them. This is your moment to reclaim your power, to stop letting those inner battles dictate your life. You have the strength, the courage, and the ability to change your story. All it takes is that first step, acknowledging what's really going on inside of you, and then deciding that you won't let it control you any longer. You are the only person standing in your way, and you are the only person who can step aside and let yourself shine. How many times have you stood on the edge of something great, ready to take that leap, only to stop yourself? How many times have you convinced yourself that maybe you're not ready, or that you're not the right person for the opportunity in front of you? We've all been there, those moments when we find ways to undermine our own potential, often without even realizing it. Self-sabotage is a sneaky thing. It disguises itself as practicality, as caution, or even as humility. You might think, I'm just being realistic, or I don't want to get my hopes up, but what's really happening underneath? Often it's fear. Fear of failing, fear of succeeding, fear of stepping into the unknown. And so instead of going for what we really want, we shrink back, we make excuses. We tell ourselves it wasn't the right time or we weren't ready. But what's actually happening is that we are standing in our own way. We start to believe the lies we tell ourselves, that we're not good enough, that we don't have what it takes, that someone else is better suited for the opportunity. These are the walls we build around our own potential, and they become prisons. The more we let these thoughts control us, the harder it becomes to break free from them. It's not the world that holds us back, it's the story we've been telling ourselves about what we are and are not capable of. But here's the truth you need to hear: self-sabotage is not the end of your story. It doesn't have to be. Because just as easily as you can tear yourself down, you can choose to lift yourself up. That's where self-empowerment comes in. It's a choice. A decision to believe in your worth, in your strength, and in your ability to achieve whatever you set your mind to. Self-empowerment starts with taking responsibility. It's about recognizing that while you may not control everything that happens in your life, you always control how you respond. It's deciding that no matter what obstacles come your way, you will not be the one standing in your own way. You will not be the reason you didn't pursue your dreams. When you empower yourself, you begin to shift your mindset. You stop seeing failure as something to fear and start seeing it as part of the journey. You stop letting doubt and insecurity dictate your actions, and instead you act with intention and confidence. You realize that the only approval you need is your own. And once you give yourself that, there's no stopping you. Self-sabotage and self-empowerment are two sides of the same coin. One keeps you stuck while the other sets you free. And the most incredible thing is that the power to choose which path you take is entirely in your hands. You have the ability to rewrite the narrative, to decide that you are worthy of success, of love, of happiness. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for someone else to validate your dreams. It's about believing right now that you have what it takes. So, which will you choose? Will you continue to hold yourself back, letting doubt and fear dictate your life? Or will you step into your power, knowing that you are capable of far more than you've allowed yourself to believe? The choice is yours, and it's one that you can make today. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need to wait until you feel ready or perfect. You just need to start. You just need to believe that the only person who can truly empower you is you. Everything begins with belief. Before you can achieve anything in life, before you can take that first step, you must believe that it's possible. And more than that, you must believe that you are capable of making it happen. That's the power of self-belief. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Self-belief isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about knowing deep down that you are enough. That no matter what challenges come your way, no matter how many times you stumble or fall, you have the strength, the talent, and the resilience to get back up and keep moving forward. But here's the thing: self-belief doesn't always come naturally. It's something you have to nurture and protect, because the world will constantly try to shake it. People will doubt you, circumstances will challenge you, and sometimes it's you, your own thoughts, that will test whether you truly believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you give yourself permission to dream big, to take risks, and to step into the unknown with confidence. Without that belief, you hesitate. You second guess every decision, you doubt every opportunity, and you settle for less than what you truly deserve. But when you have that solid, unwavering belief in who you are and what you're capable of, something shifts. You start to see possibilities where before there were only roadblocks. You start to trust that no matter what happens, you'll figure it out. This kind of belief isn't about being perfect. It's about embracing your imperfections and understanding that they don't define your worth. It's about silencing that inner critic, the one that tells you you're not smart enough, talented enough, or deserving enough. Self-belief is about saying, I may not have all the answers, but I trust myself enough to figure it out along the way. There will be days when that belief is tested, days when nothing seems to go right, and it feels like the world is telling you to quit. But those are the moments when self-belief matters the most. Because it's easy to believe in yourself when everything is going well. The real challenge is holding on to that belief when life throws you curveballs, when the path ahead seems uncertain, and when doubt starts creeping in. But here's the truth: you are more powerful than you realize. You have the ability to rise above any obstacle, but that power only comes to life when you believe in it. When you trust in yourself, you stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to succeed. You stop looking for validation from the outside world because you know that everything you need is already within you. The power of self-belief transforms your entire approach to life. It shifts your focus from what if I fail to what if I fail to what if I succeed. It allows you to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. And most importantly, it frees you from the limitations that fear and doubt impose on you. So believe in yourself. Even on the days when it feels hard. Even when you're not sure how things will work out. Because that belief is the key to unlocking your greatest potential. And once you embrace it, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Your growth, your personal development is no one else's responsibility but your own. That's a hard truth to accept sometimes, especially when it feels like life has handed you challenges that are beyond your control. But the reality is, no one is going to come and save you. No one is going to push you to grow, to improve, to become the best version of yourself. That has to come from within. Taking responsibility for your growth means understanding that where you are today is a result of the choices you've made up until now. And while that might feel heavy, it's also incredibly empowering because it means that where you go from here is entirely up to you. You are the one steering the ship. It doesn't matter what has happened in the past or what obstacles are in your way. What matters is how you choose to respond. Too often we look outside of ourselves for answers. We think if only this situation were different, I could succeed, or if only I had more support, more resources, more time, things would be better. But those are just distractions. The real power lies in what you can do with what you have right now. No one else can want your growth for you. No one else can put in the work. This also means owning up to your mistakes, acknowledging where you've fallen short, and learning from those experiences. Growth isn't a straight line, it's a journey filled with highs and lows, but it's those moments when you stumble that you learn the most. Taking responsibility means not blaming others or circumstances for where you are. It means looking in the mirror and asking yourself, what can I do differently? How can I improve? The moment you take full ownership of your growth, something incredible happens. You stop waiting for permission. You stop seeking validation from others. Instead, you become the driver of your own progress. You start setting goals, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and holding yourself accountable. And when you take that kind of ownership, you'll find that opportunities begin to open up for you. Not because the world changes, but because you change. Growth isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. It's about recognizing that every day presents a new opportunity to get better, to learn something new, and to move closer to the person you want to become. But that only happens when you take responsibility for it. When you stop waiting for someone to give you permission to grow and instead decide that you are worthy of the journey ahead. Ultimately, your growth is your responsibility because no one else is going to live your life for you. No one else can walk your path. and no one else can achieve the dreams that are meant for you. So take charge. Step up. Own your growth. Because when you do, you unlock the potential that has been waiting inside you all along. Limiting beliefs are the invisible barriers we build around ourselves, those quiet, persistent thoughts that whisper, you can't, you're not good enough, or this isn't for someone like you. They shape how we see the world and, more importantly, how we see ourselves. These beliefs don't come out of nowhere. Often they're born from past experiences, failures, or things people have said to us. But here's the truth: just because you've believed something for a long time doesn't make it true. Overcoming limiting beliefs begins with recognizing them. You can't defeat what you don't acknowledge. So start by asking yourself, what stories have I been telling myself about who I am and what I can achieve? Are they really true, or have I just accepted them as part of my identity without questioning them? The thing about limiting beliefs is that they're subtle. They become part of your daily internal dialogue until you stop questioning them altogether. Maybe you tell yourself, I'm not smart enough to pursue that career, or I'm not confident enough to lead. These thoughts don't just hold you back, they define the ceiling on your potential. But the truth is, those ceilings only exist because you've put them there. To break free from these beliefs, you have to challenge them. You have to ask yourself, is this really true, or is it just a story I've been telling myself to avoid stepping into discomfort? Growth happens outside of your comfort zone, and most limiting beliefs are designed to keep you safe in that zone. They protect you from failure, from risk, and from the possibility of being vulnerable, but they also prevent you from experiencing the fullness of what you're capable of. Think about it this way: if someone else told you the things you tell yourself, would you believe them? Would you let someone else stand in your way and say, you're not capable of achieving this? Probably not. So why do you allow your own mind to convince you otherwise? The power to overcome these limiting beliefs is already within you. It starts with recognizing that the thoughts holding you back are not facts, they're opinions you've formed over time. And just as you formed them, you can unlearn them. Start replacing those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of thinking, I can't try, asking yourself, what if I could? Instead of saying, I'm not ready, remind yourself that no one ever feels fully ready for anything truly transformative. And that's okay. The key is to take action anyway, to move forward in spite of the doubt. When you start reframing those beliefs, you open doors. Suddenly, what seemed impossible feels within reach, but this shift requires persistence. You have to consciously push back against the thoughts that limit you and replace them with thoughts that encourage growth, confidence, and possibility. Over time, you'll find that the walls you once thought were unbreakable start to crumble. You'll begin to see that the only thing that was ever really standing in your way was you. The beauty of overcoming limiting beliefs is that it gives you freedom. Freedom to dream bigger, to take risks, and to believe in possibilities that once seemed out of reach. And once you've broken through those old beliefs, there's no telling what you can accomplish. You become limitless. So don't let those old stories define your future. You have the power to rewrite them starting now. You can choose to believe in your potential, your worth, and your ability to achieve whatever you set your mind to. The limits you once lived by, they're not real. The only limits that exist are the ones you accept. Choose to let them go and watch how far you can go. Adversity is something we all face at different points in our lives. It comes in many forms: loss, failure, rejection, disappointment, but what defines us isn't the adversity itself, it's how we respond to it. While some people allow adversity to break them, others use it as fuel to push forward. The truth is, the most successful, resilient people aren't the ones who've avoided hardship, they're the ones who have learned to turn those hardships into opportunities for growth. When you're in the midst of adversity, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. It's easy to think, why is this happening to me? Or I don't deserve this, and those feelings are valid. But the key to transforming adversity into fuel is shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what is this teaching me? Adversity often brings clarity. It forces you to stop, reflect, and reevaluate. It reveals strengths you didn't know you had and shows you areas where you can improve. If you let it, adversity can become one of your greatest teachers. It's not about ignoring the pain or pretending the struggle isn't real. It's about learning how to harness that pain and use it to propel you forward. Think about the times in your life when you've grown the most. Chances are it wasn't when everything was smooth and easy. It was during the hard times when you had to dig deep, find your inner strength, and push through challenges. Those moments are when you discover what you're truly made of. That's when you realize that the adversity you face doesn't have to define you, it can refine you. Turning adversity into fuel means shifting your perspective on hardship. Instead of seeing setbacks as roadblocks, you start viewing them as stepping stones. Every failure, every rejection, every tough situation is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself and the world around you. It's an invitation to grow stronger, more resilient, and more determined. And let's be honest, life isn't going to hand you a smooth path. There will always be challenges. But when you learn to use adversity as fuel, you become unstoppable. You start to see obstacles not as things that can defeat you, but as things that can drive you. You begin to use every setback as motivation to keep moving forward, knowing that each challenge you overcome is another step closer to your goals. This mindset shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires intention. When adversity strikes, it's natural to feel discouraged or even defeated. But in those moments, you have a choice. You can let the adversity drain you, or you can let it fuel your fire. You can let it pull you down, or you can let it push you to rise higher. Remember, adversity is temporary. The lessons it brings, the strength it builds, that's permanent. The more you face, the more resilient you become. And the more resilient you become, the more capable you are of handling whatever life throws your way. So the next time you find yourself facing adversity, ask yourself, how can I use this? Let it fuel your determination. Let it drive you to dig deeper, work harder, and rise higher than you thought possible. Because it's not about avoiding adversity, it's about transforming it into the energy that powers your success. Resilience is often seen as the ability to keep going when life gets tough, to bounce back after setbacks, and to stay strong in the face of adversity. But what people sometimes overlook is that true resilience is deeply rooted in self-love. Without self-love, resilience is fragile. It becomes more about survival than growth. With self-love, resilience transforms into something powerful and sustainable. Self-love isn't just about treating yourself kindly in good times. It's about how you show up for yourself when things go wrong, when you're struggling, and when you feel like you've failed. In those moments, it's easy to be your own worst critic. You start to question your worth, your decisions, and your abilities. But resilience built through self-love means embracing your imperfections and understanding that your worth isn't defined by a single moment, mistake, or setback. Letting go of control is one of the hardest lessons we face, especially in a world that teaches us to constantly take charge, to make things happen, to steer our lives in the direction we want. But the truth is, the more we try to control every aspect of our lives, the more resistance we create. Control is rooted in fear, the fear that if we don't manage every detail, things will fall apart or we'll miss out on opportunities. But in reality, control often blocks the very things we desire. When you're holding on tightly, trying to force outcomes, you're not leaving any room for flow. It's like trying to clutch a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Control comes from the belief that you have to do everything yourself, that you can't trust the process, or that you're the only one who knows the right way for things to unfold. But here's the thing, there is a force much greater than any one of us that has a far broader perspective on life than we could ever have. Call it the universe, divine timing, or life's natural intelligence. It knows what's best for you, even when you don't. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means releasing the need to dictate every single step of the journey. It's about trusting that once you've done your part, once you've set your intention and taken aligned action, there is a process at work that will bring things to fruition in the right way, at the right time. Think of it this way, imagine planting a seed. You don't stand over that seed every day, digging it up to check if it's growing. You trust that if you nurture it, water it, and give it sunlight, it will grow when it's meant to. Life works the same way. After you've planted the seeds of your desires, whether it's through the actions you've taken or the energy you've put out into the world, you have to trust that they will blossom in their own time. Trying to control everything often leads to frustration because life rarely goes according to our exact plans. When you release control, you allow for the possibility of outcomes that are even better than what you imagined. You give space for things to unfold in ways you couldn't foresee, ways that are perfectly aligned with your highest good. This is where surrender comes in, not as a form of defeat, but as a form of liberation. Surrendering is about acknowledging that you can't know every twist and turn that life will take. It's about releasing the pressure to figure it all out and accepting that there is a flow to life that is working in your favor, even when it doesn't seem like it. When you surrender, you open yourself up to the unexpected blessings, the synchronicities, the people, and opportunities that are meant for you. And here's the irony: the moment you let go of control, you often find that. You said, clarity brings power, expanded, and don't write subheading. ChatGPT said, ChatGPT. Clarity is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. When you know exactly what you want, you send a clear message to the universe, to your subconscious mind, and to the people around you. It's as if you're pointing a laser beam in a specific direction, cutting through the noise and distractions, guiding everything toward your goal. But without clarity, your energy becomes scattered, your actions lose focus, and you end up chasing things that aren't aligned with your true desires. Clarity starts with knowing yourself, your values, your dreams, your priorities. It means taking the time to really understand what drives you, what makes you feel fulfilled, and what kind of life you want to live. Too often, we get caught up in chasing what others expect of us or what society tells us we should want. But those pursuits leave us feeling empty, even when we achieve them, because they aren't aligned with our true selves. When you're unclear about what you want, life becomes chaotic. You might feel like you're doing a lot, but going nowhere. You might take on projects, relationships, or responsibilities that drain your energy simply because you haven't taken the time to define what really matters to you. This is why clarity is so essential. It streamlines your actions, helps you make better decisions, and cuts away anything that doesn't serve your ultimate vision. The power of clarity lies in the way it amplifies your focus. When you have a clear vision of what you want, you stop wasting energy on things that don't contribute to that vision. You start to say no to distractions, no to opportunities that might look good on the surface but don't align with your deeper purpose. Clarity empowers you to be intentional, to make choices that move you closer to your goals rather than pulling you in 100 different directions. But clarity isn't just about knowing what you want, it's also about understanding why you want it. The more connected you are to the purpose behind your goals, the stronger your motivation will be. When your why is strong enough, no obstacle can stand in your way. That deep sense of purpose will carry you through challenges, uncertainties, and setbacks because you'll always have a clear sense of direction guiding you forward. Clarity also breeds confidence. When you're clear about your path, you stop second-guessing yourself. You stop wondering if you're on the right track or if you're making the right decisions. You trust yourself more. And when you radiate that inner certainty, others begin to trust and support you too. People are naturally drawn to those who know where they're going because that level of focus and determination is magnetic. Another important aspect of clarity is that it allows you said. Inner work is the key. Expanded and don't write subheading. ChatGPT said, ChatGPT. True transformation starts from within. It's easy to get caught up in the external, working harder, doing more, chasing after goals in the hopes that they will bring fulfillment. But the real key to lasting change, to attracting the life you desire, is inner work. Everything you experience in your outer world is a reflection of what's happening inside of you. Your beliefs, your emotions, your mindset, they all shape the reality you create. Inner work is about looking inward and addressing the parts of yourself that need healing, growth, or realignment. It's about uncovering the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back, the fears that have been keeping you small, and the self-doubt that has been blocking your progress. Often we try to solve our problems by changing the outside circumstances, getting a new job, ending a relationship, or setting new goals, but none of that will create real change unless you've done the internal work first. One of the most important aspects of inner work is self-awareness. This means getting honest with yourself about what you truly believe, how you feel, and why you react the way you do. It requires a willingness to sit with your discomfort, to ask yourself the tough questions, and to face the parts of yourself that you might have been avoiding. When you become aware of your internal blocks, you can start to dismantle them. And once those barriers come down, you make space for new possibilities. Healing is also a huge part of inner work. We all carry wounds, whether from childhood, past relationships, or life's disappointments that affect how we see ourselves and what we believe we're capable of. If those wounds remain unaddressed, they continue to influence our decisions, our actions, and ultimately the reality we create. Inner work allows us to heal those wounds, release the pain and negative emotions tied to them, and step into a new, empowered version of ourselves. Inner work is also about taking responsibility for your life. It's easy to blame external circumstances for why things aren't going the way you want them to, whether it's a tough economy, a difficult boss, or a challenging relationship. But when you do the inner, you said, abundance is your birthright expanded, and don't write subheading. ChatGPT said, ChatGPT. You were born into a world of abundance, and it's your birthright to experience it. Yet, so many of us have been conditioned to believe that we must struggle, compete, or somehow prove ourselves worthy of receiving it. We're often taught that resources are limited, that success is for the few, and that if we want something, we have to fight for it. But this mindset of scarcity, of lack, is not the truth of who we are. Abundance is not something outside of us that we have to chase. It's something that is already within us, waiting to be recognized and embraced. Abundance isn't just about money or material wealth. It's about the fullness of life. It's the love that surrounds you, the joy that fills your heart, the opportunities that come your way, the creativity that flows through you. Abundance is all around you, in nature, in relationships, in the air you breathe. The problem is, most of us are too focused on what we don't have to see what's already available to us. When you start to believe that abundance is your birthright, everything changes. You begin to realize that you don't need to struggle to get what's meant for you. You stop believing in the myth of scarcity, that there isn't enough success, love, or happiness to go around. Instead, you understand that there is more than enough for everyone, and that your share of abundance is already earmarked for you. All you have to do is open yourself up to receive it. The first step in claiming your birthright to abundance is shifting your mindset. As long as you believe in lack, you will attract lack. If you see the world as a place of competition, where you have to fight for every little thing, that's the reality you'll create for yourself. But when you begin to see the world, gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and when you truly understand its power, you unlock the key to attracting more of what you want into your life. Gratitude shifts your energy in an instant. It takes your focus off of what's lacking and places it on what's already abundant in your life. And here's the secret: whatever you focus on expands. The more grateful you are for what you have, the more reasons the universe will give you to be grateful. When you operate from a place of gratitude, you're telling the universe that you recognize and appreciate the blessings you've already received. You're signaling that you're open and ready to receive more. It's like opening a door. Gratitude allows the energy of abundance to flow freely into your life. On the other hand, when you focus on what you don't have, you create resistance. You're essentially telling the universe, I don't have enough. And that energy of lack will continue to manifest in your life. Gratitude isn't just about the big things, it's about the small, everyday moments that we often take for granted. When you start to notice and appreciate the simple joys, the beauty in the mundane, the people who show up for you, and the opportunities that come your way, you start to cultivate a mindset of abundance. This shift in perspective changes everything because it aligns your energy with the frequency of what you want to attract. When you practice gratitude consistently, it rewires your brain to see more opportunities, more possibilities, and more reasons to feel blessed. It's like tuning into a new radio station, one that's playing the music of abundance, love, and joy. You begin to attract people, situations, and experiences that are in harmony with that frequency. Doors start to open and things begin to flow with less effort because you're no longer operating from a place of lack or neediness. Instead, you're radiating appreciation, and that energy is magnetic.